And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, traders, my futures family. It's time for the market reflection. Not usually doing this on Thursday. We got a couple of people missing, so no podcast this week. They asked me if I'd finish up the day with a reflection, and I'm always up for doing that, spending a little time with my futures family. So, a little bit of decision making in the equities today. Maybe a little bit of help from Bostic. We still have a couple of talking feds due to speak after the close here, so we're going to have to see how these things kind of follow up with this information, but we have some pretty stiff rejection below that February low that we've been watching. We know we've got some unfinished upside auctions that could be targeted in coming days here, so we're going to take a look at this on the charts very shortly. E-mini S&P is up 28 points at the end of the day, 0.68%. NASDAQ up unofficially 102.8%. And the Dow up about 171 points, looks like, about 0.5%. So, a positive day on Wall Street. We've got crude oil also 47 cents higher, 78.16. The settlement price up 0.6%. So, Bostic, he was not on any calendar that I saw. He started speaking just about the time the equities started peeling off to the upside. Some of the things that he said was he's in the quarter point camp on rate hike pace. That may have something to do with the juice to the upside that our equities enjoyed from today. He also sees some attenuation of inflation, but the Fed needs to remain resolute in fighting inflation. And also we need some kind of slowdown in the labor market, but nothing catastrophic. Well, thank goodness for that. We have Fed's Waller due to speak right now. I don't know if he's currently speaking, but he is due to speak here at 3 p.m. Central. So we'll have to keep an eye and see if he is actually speaking. Let me see if I can see anything here. Yeah, he's speaking right now. Data last month challenged my view in January that the FOMC was making significant progress in moderating activity and reducing inflation. Waller is always pretty hawkish. The Fed may need to raise rates beyond December's central tendency view of 5.1 to 5.4%. And if incoming job and inflation data does not pull back from strong readings for January, always the hawk Waller is. An excessively tight labor market complicates the path towards price stability. So, speaking as he is right now, not seeing any major reactions here, I don't think, in the markets. We're going to check that in the charts shortly. Make sure that you hit the lucky like button for me. Share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, love are always welcome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we do go live. I got James here. What a trading day. One more day until step 2. Just if you got more work to do, James, start tomorrow from zero. Vince, good to see you back. Hope you had a nice time. Bill, good afternoon. Travis, good afternoon. ZK, first green day in a while. Right, where do we find these Fed speakers live? Well, I'm getting the information on what they're saying, and I think you can see them live on YouTube, but here's the site that I'm getting them from. I'll put them in the chat. Financial Juice. not necessarily getting them in real time, but probably soon, quick enough to get some at least response from them. I can also see them on Twitter, which I'm not seeing anything from Waller here just yet. So Financial Juice beat Twitter to the punch as far as what Waller is talking about as we speak right now. So EH, good to see you. All right. So one of the things we've been talking about all week is the fact that this February low is going to be really important. We are seeing some pretty stiff rejection below and even above that area now. Today's move to the upside may be a bit of a game changer. We've been watching some unfinished upside auctions to the upside, and these are a long way away. Excuse me, my goodness. So we're going to check that in the charts here shortly. Let's start with crude oil here. Crude continuing its push to the upside. Let's take a quick look and we'll start there. So still range bound by all rights. Okay. Volume yesterday was pretty good. A little bit less today as we get closer to the upper extreme. Okay. My pleasure, EH. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully we'll find something here that's going to be important for us in tomorrow's trading. So we're still range bound, closing above last week's high here. Okay, resistance, support. We did hold largely above last week's high. We've got some resistance above in the form of the weekly kickoff high, 78.85, and a naked point of control up there that could be interesting for us to see. Here's the TPO chart. Neither the high nor the low of the regular trading hour are the extreme of the initial balance, normal variation, neutral trading day. Used up a lot of facilitation in this area. We'll look for a move away from this, but again, we're looking at these markets as short time frame controlled. We had an additional 58 interest in crude oil yesterday. That was in the preliminary. We added about 5,100 in open interest yesterday, and the actual number. So starting to see some of the open interest come back in to crude oil for the first month of this year. It was just open interest piling in. Today is the 2nd, so we've got a couple of weeks before we have to worry about rollover in crude oil. So we're going to get a little clearer picture. Here's the S&P, speaking of a clear picture. February low, last week's low. Looked below it yesterday and rejected, looked deeper below it and closed higher. This is a pretty important reversal pattern here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the market closing lower, opening lower, trading lower, closing higher. Bullish engulfing pattern. Lots of excess on the low here. Look at what happens when we see this kind of excess. We have excess here. Not even as big. Excess. So we're seeing price maybe getting too cheap. Sellers backing off, buyers taking over, and maybe some continuation to the upside in this. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So yesterday we traded down to and rejected that level, closed above it. Today, deeper look through it, just a magnet for a little while, and then of course we know that price ran to the upside. My, as well as others, there's enough uncertainty out there to make everybody believe that price is going to continue to push lower. February's low was an important level, and now it's showing signs of being rejected as far as price action is concerned. We also know that we have some unfinished upside auctions in the past here. We're going to see these on The TPO charts, let me see if this is that's the one with the overnight, without the overnight. So now we've got rejection below that February low right here. Rejected. We got looks like a late spike to the upside here. Where are the weak highs that I'm talking about? The weak highs. No excess high here. That's right up around 40.34. Another no excess high right here, up around 40.89. And one more all the way up here at 41.45. Approximately. These unfinished upside auctions are saying that this push to the downside was not necessarily longer time frame traders as it was shorter time frame speculators. The fact that we've rejected now below the February low, we may have a whole bunch of speculators that are stuck short. If that's the case, it may be that the market is going to start to push higher in quick order here. Now, of course, anything can happen. We are just looking at the potential for these moves by looking at the context of the market. We've rejected lower levels, at the very least for now. Bad news, anything can change that. Anything can change that. And as we always say here, anything can happen. ACH. All right. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. See how the NASDAQ fared today. So here is weekly kickoff low, rejected. The February low, now rejected. We've got a bullish engulfing pattern here. Market opened lower, traded lower, closed higher. That's a good reversal pattern. Take a look at the 30. Very similar to the S&Ps. It really kind of stutter-stepped around this February low. Everybody in the world was looking at this level. Anybody that watches equities, at least. Rejection below weekly kickoff low, rejection below February's low, and continuation to the upside. We do not necessarily have the same weak structure above in the unfinished upside auctions. Okay, I think we pretty much only are seeing those in the S&Ps. Well, the S&Ps are. Where did my TPO charts go? No. Where'd it go? It's here. There it is. There it is. So with the S&Ps being the broadest of the indices, we'd get a little bit of a weak high here. This also includes the overnight sessions, so it's going to be a little bit further away that we're going to... My goodness. What the heck? So where was that? A little bit of a weak high here. Excess here. This is where the other weak high was from the S&Ps, and we have excess there. So the market really kind of showing, well, looks like we've got a little bit of a gap here, which is another weakness in structure, and some pretty prominent points of control from regular trading hours up here as well. So we're looking at rejection of lower pricing in the equities. Looking, as far as an investor, I'm looking forward to the grind higher continuing. As a day trader, maybe not so much, but we're going to trade what we see. Let's take a look at gold here. Inside trading day, lower volume. What do we say was likely to happen today? As we were opening between these points of control, possible repair. We got to the point of control from yesterday We tried to get to the point of control from the day before. We were unable to do so. We're still kind of in an area of repair. We did close this gap today. Didn't quite get to our point of control down here. Got to kind of a high volume node here. Not quite there, but we did get to the upper point of control. That's repair, ladies and gentlemen. That is repair. The market taking a little bit of a break here. Normal variation trading day, initial balance, the low of the regular trading hour session, neutral profile here, again, testing to the point of control here, missing the point of control here. You have to see how this market looks tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll see what the overnight does for it. Nice pullback here in the euro. The dollar. Whoops. Now holding firmly above 105. Let me see how it's closed here. Back down just below 105, 104.96 last I see here. So, but still a strong day for the dollar, a weak day for the euro. Take a look at the 30. Overnight inventory to the short side, small adjustment in inventory to come check out this naked point of control. That's now been checked. Didn't really see much action on this trend line. I'm just going to remove that. Range bound, no real repair. Didn't really get to the area of repair like we were in gold. TPO chart. Unfinished downside auction. We have an unfinished upside auction. Gap. Another wide profile, another prominent point of control. And see again tomorrow how that looks in the morning. Continuation to the downside as rates continue to leak higher. Prices of the 10-year continue to leak lower. There we go. So we had a gap. We did not close the gap. We did not try and adjust inventory. Basically just found a new area for two-sided trade to ensue. This is going to be a pretty even bell curve. Weak low. Hold on. Weak low. Normal variation day. Looks like the IB high is the high of the regular trading hour session. Just a whole lot of time spent accepting lower prices. Now we got an interesting day in the natural gas too. Nat gas numbers came out today. I've checked those, but here's the daily. Pretty healthy auction to the upside. We're starting to lose a little bit of volume, which is a little bit concerning for longs. Take a look at the 30. Spanning the weekly kickoff high and low. We did have a late spike yesterday. We are showing acceptance of higher pricing in the fact that it's an overlapping to higher range and value is overlapping to higher, but we didn't get the real good push to the upside that we may have hoped for after, opening above a late spike. The regular trading hours for gold OMID is 7:20 Central to 12:30 Central. If you're on TS Trader, you're not going to be able to open your charts at 7:20. I just opened them up at 7:30. All right. Good question. Any other questions about that? No problemo. Does the dollar move off the same news as the S&P and the NASDAQ? I have trouble figuring out why it's priced the way it is. Well, if you look at some of the like investor.com or investing.com or marketwatch.com, a lot of times they'll kind of give an explanation of what a specific economic number is, what it relates to, what it means, and how it would treat the US dollar. Now, I think the dollar has been priced a little bit strong because they're making it more expensive to get the dollar with higher rates. Make sense? Yes, Josiah. Yep, nice job. 40-34, 40-90, and 41-45 with those unfinished auctions. Yes, I wish that the Fed head would just be quiet, right? Yeah, so because the rates higher, the dollar's more expensive, a little harder to get. All right. Dr. Seuss was born today in 1904. Everybody's favorite Dr. Seuss. 1962, Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 points in a game. Jeez. I don't remember that. I wasn't there. I wasn't around then, though. Was I? 62? No. No. Well, there are a couple of things in music here. A couple of good birthdays. Today's Lou Reed's birthday, 1942. Lou Reed. And we also have Karen Carpenter's birthday, 1950. Karen Carpenter. If you've never listened to Karen Carpenter's voice, it was silk. Silk. Today's John Bon Jovi's birthday. I'm happy to say that he's older than I am. 1962 on this day. 1977, Chris Martin from Coldplay. It's his birthday today. 2003. Hard to believe that this song is this old. Norah Jones's "Come Away With Me" started a 4-week run at number one on the UK album chart. "Come Away With Me" was her debut album. It was spent over a year on the chart. Was also a number one U.S. hit. Norah Jones, the daughter of Ravi Shankar. 2008, sad day. Canadian guitarist, singer Jeff Healey died of cancer on that day. If you know Jeff Healey, you know he was blind and played the guitar in his lap. Played with all kinds of people: Stevie Ray Vaughan, Buddy Guy, B.B. King, ZZ Top, Eric Clapton. Really a unique and fine artist. So it's hard to believe he's been gone that long already. All right. Well, it is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. We don't really have anything all that impactful as far as economic numbers tomorrow. PMI composite final. ISM services index maybe a little bit. We do have a couple of talking Feds at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central. Bostic is due to speak, and then after the close, Barkin is going to be barking at 3:15 Central. Now, today we didn't have any talking Feds on the calendar. I saw one at the end of the day, Waller, but at some point today there was another talking Fed that started speaking. So we got to just be diligent in paying attention to when they start speaking. He was what the earlier talking Fed said may have had a lot to do potentially with the upside move that we saw in the S&Ps today. I don't know, but this looks like a pretty good reversal pattern. I'm going to be looking forward to what the market does in the overnight, how much change there is in open interest. This morning in the S&Ps, we said that there was an additional 1,200 points in open interest, 1,200 contracts added in open interest yesterday. We know that we had some really strong Delta. Delta was well over 20,000. The market really didn't move that far. It seemed as though there may have been an accumulation or a liquidation, one side or the other. The final number came out. We actually lost 555 contracts in the S&Ps yesterday. Almost no change at all. It's inert. It doesn't matter. Really surprised by that number, but these markets are always surprising me. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that number is tomorrow. If you want to join me tomorrow morning for the market prep, we'll be discussing all this and more. Let's finish the week strong. We've got James ready to finish step 1, getting into step 2. Just remember, James, take your time. Start from 0. Just take what the market gives you tomorrow. All right? Get a good night's rest this evening. Looking forward to seeing everybody bright and bushy tomorrow. And we'll look forward to seeing you then. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Don't forget to pray for peace. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good night.